you ever wondered what the difference between being a stay-at-home mom and a homemaker is? I believe the only difference between the two is the mindset that you have in either position. Now, I'm going to go ahead and get into why I believe this later on in the video, but first, if you're new around here, hey, my name is Cassidy, and I am a homemaking mom to 7 kiddos and have been for the last 16 years. If you want to learn more about how to be efficient and effective in your work at home and motherhood, to focus on what matters with joy, make sure you like and subscribe this video, and let's go ahead and talk about this. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you the 10 basic homemaking hacks that I have learned that it took me from stay-at-home mom to homemaker who loves what I do, that has also made me efficient and effective so that I can focus on what matters and do it with joy. When I first became a stay-at-home mom, I had no idea what a homemaker was. I was raised by a single mother who was also raised by a single mother. And when I started out my motherhood journey, I was also a single mother. And the whole idea was just do what is necessary so that you can survive. There wasn't a whole lot of doing things out of beauty and purpose. It was just, this is what needs to get done and you need to get it done. As a child, all I ever wanted to do was be the soccer mom, the mom that picked the kiddos up from school, had baked cookies or had snacks ready when they came home. Like, I just wanted to be that mom. I wanted to be present. I wanted to be a part of it. I wanted to be rooting my kids on because, like I said, I was raised by a single mom who was working all the time because she had to, it was necessary, and missed out on a lot of our childhood, and I just didn't want to do the same. After I got married, I was finally able to stay home with my kiddos, and I was a stay-at-home mom, but I was also surrounded by really amazing women with some really impressive careers. And I thought, I'm just a stay-at-home mom. When people ask me what I did, I would say, I'm just a stay-at-home mom. I say just because I didn't understand the importance and the blessing that being a stay-at-home mom was. It wasn't until I was about 4 years into being a stay-at-home mom that I finally understood. Stay-at-home moms and homemakers both do the cooking, the cleaning, they care for the kids, they care for their home. However, homemakers see the beauty and the importance of it all. They understand that it's not just what they do, but it's who they are. Now that I've explained the difference between the two, let's go ahead and get into these skills that'll help you embrace homemaking and cultivate purpose and beauty in your home and motherhood. These are some basic foundational skills in homemaking, and I'm praying for you in your transition into being and becoming a homemaker. So let's go ahead and get into it. So the first skill that I'm going to go ahead and suggest is that rhythms are necessary. Creating a structure for your day, I feel like, is like the number one skill that you need in your homemaking career to be able to just be as effective and efficient as possible and focusing on what really matters. Just creating some structure, knowing what you're going to do next, and being able to be accountable with your time so that you can be as productive as you would like to be, so that you can get in the things that you would like to get in. And I'll get into more of this later on, but I really do like having a planner. I know a lot of people don't always use those. There are some great ones out there. I also like to have a cleaning schedule and a laundry routine. I like to make sure that I have things on my list to do every single day. My morning routine where I have some quiet time in the beginning of the day so that I can get my attitude and mind right before receiving the kiddos and all that comes in as a homemaker and all of our duties, responsibilities, that kind of stuff. So just creating some structure where you know the flow of the day. It doesn't have to be an exact schedule. It doesn't have to be an exact routine, but just kind of some structure where you know what's coming next and that you can be as efficient in doing those things as possible. Okay, and the second tip that I'm going to go ahead and suggest, or the skill or hack that you should have, is some basic cooking skills. You do not need to be a chef or some master in the kitchen, but having some basic cooking skills is really going to help you because a large portion of homemaking is actually cooking. And I really do believe your kitchen is the heart of your home, and so much blessing and richness comes out of there. A lot of our good conversations as families are usually over the dinner table. And so I've actually learned a lot in my cookbooks. I have really sought to grow as a cook in my skills and my abilities and learning how to do that. And I really love this book here. It is like a foundational cooking school book. and it'll give you everything you need to know. It'll teach you how to do sauces, how to cook meat, sides, all kinds of things, and it'll teach you all the way from the basics to a more advanced cooking. If you're interested in checking this out for yourself, I'll go ahead and link it down in the description so that you can go ahead and do that with ease. Next up in your third skill, and something you'll do a lot of in your home, is laundry. Having a laundry system and a routine will really help you be efficient and effective, and you will save a lot of money on clothes if you learn how to do them properly. I like to have things set up a certain way. I have certain systems that I've learned over the years, honestly, and I have had different seasons where different laundry systems work for me that don't. And now that I have a larger family with 7 kiddos, I really like to have one day per kid or per room so that I can focus on that laundry. I've also developed certain systems as far as like where laundry goes, baskets, how I do it, that kind of sort of thing. The fourth skill is going to be keeping a clean sink. Now, I know this doesn't seem like a skill that you need as far as homemaking, and it's really just more of an encouragement. I find that having a clean sink without a pile of dishes is, one, helpful in making my kitchen feel more clean, even though it might not be, and even though it might be a very busy place in the home, it just feels more organized and clean when my kitchen sink is not filled with a bunch of dishes. It's less overwhelming to me, and it feels more inviting, I should say, as far as getting in there, cleaning and doing things. That leads me into number 5, work as you go. One of the things that I started doing early on in my homemaking journey or my motherhood journey was working as I go, because I noticed if I wasn't cleaning up as I was making messes, that the messes were getting out of control and messes were being made faster than I could actually clean them. So one of the things that I have started doing is kind of cleaning up as I go. If I notice something and I have time to do it, I will go ahead and stop and do it. I noticed that I had my shelf was just kind of getting chaotic and it was getting overwhelming, and every time I looked at it, it was like frustrating. So I went ahead and I took some time to kind of clean, organize, and just declutter some of the things that have collected over there that just shouldn't be there, put them in their rightful place. Okay, and the 6th skill or hack that I'm going to go ahead and tell you about is growing your own food. Now, I don't mean that you have to have this grand farm and grow all of your food and have livestock and all of those things. Start small, even if you just have like a little herb garden in your windowsill or off the porch. It's just a nice way to kind of cultivate that beauty with purpose, growing your own food that you know is safe. And also the amount of joy that I have found in growing my own food and having my kiddos go alongside me and do it, like the amount of joy and the time that we've been able to spend together just learning all of this. Like, I am still very, very beginner level as far as gardening goes. I'm still figuring it all out, but I love being able to just grow new things, try it out, see the colors and the beauty of it in my yard. And sometimes it's just nice to sit out there and look at it. Right now it's winter, so I can't really show you what that looks like, but here are some seeds that I'm planning on growing, making sure that you are checking your zone and when things need to be planted, if they need to be started first, or if you can just go ahead and sow them into the ground is important. I don't really have, again, like I said, I'm a beginner in this area, so I am not a huge wealth of information. Unless you're just starting out, I can help you out and I can point you in the right direction of some resources. There's a couple people I like to watch here on YouTube. Roots and Refuge Farm is one of them that I can think of off the top of my head. There's a few others, but it's just like not coming to my head. But here are some books that I can go ahead and point you towards that I think are some like basic level understanding. Also, going towards like the kids resources as far as gardening and things go is really helpful in the beginning state because it breaks it down for you. And also your kids could be learning with you when you are figuring all this stuff out. Okay, and then number 6 is going to lead into number 7. And another basic skill that I think that homemakers should have is some basic canning. I know that this can seem overwhelming and kind of intimidating. At least that's what I felt like in the beginning. I felt like this is like kind of above my pay grade. But what I noticed when I started doing it is that it was really fun and it was really cost effective. I could preserve the things that I grew in the garden. I would be able to make a large batch of things, can it, and have it for months to come sometimes. One of my favorite things to can is jams. I think that they're really easy, a great way to start. I also really enjoy salsas and canning my own chicken broth, beef broth, vegetable broth, that kind of stuff, because it's, again, a way that I can be really cost effective and I can water bath can it. This is my water bath canner that I have here. I just went ahead and picked it up at Walmart, but you can find them all over the place. I'll link one down in the description just to help guide you in what to look for. But I think water bath canning is a really easy way to start. I also really enjoy this book here, The Ball Canning. It has multiple recipes or ways to pressure can, and I feel like that's the next level. I'm not there yet. I haven't canned meats and certain things like that you would need a pressure canner for, because I'm still just, again, in those baby beginner stages of learning how to can. But it has been a blessing to my family, and I feel like canning is just one of those like traditional homemaking skills that our grandmothers or great grandmothers had, and I want to revive. I don't know about you, and again, like, you don't have to do all 10 of these, of course, especially when you're first starting out. It can feel overwhelming, but I really do think that canning is a skill that we as homemakers should have. Okay, and number 8 is going to be having a budgeting system. Now, it doesn't matter if you create this or if somebody creates it for you. It's just important that you have a budgeting system, and I highly suggest you sitting down with your spouse or your significant other and figuring out, like, what is the income, what money is coming in, what needs to be paid, what are the expenses, what are you saving for, is there something that needs to be purchased? And my husband and I, we do this monthly at the end of the month to figure out what's coming up the next month. We take this opportunity as a date night. It's less date night, more like, let's figure out the logistics of what's going on in our home. And it's one way for us to get a date night in and also talk about the things that needs to be talked about without like the kids and the chaos going on around us. And so I really do suggest you guys sitting down, figuring out. But as a homemaker, as the person who is probably paying the bills, doing the grocery shopping, that kind of thing, it's really important to have a budgeting plan or system in place so that you're making sure that things that need to get paid are getting paid, that things are taken care of that need to be taken care of, that you're putting towards savings or any of the other things. I highly suggest having a budgeting system. If you are not somebody who really knows where to start with budgeting, maybe you need some software ideas or some books. Here are 2 books that I really like. They are 2 different, like, conflicting kind of ideas. I mean, there are similarities, but they are kind of 2 different ways of going about things, but it's what I like, and I like things from each one of these guys. So these are 2 that I suggest. I'll go ahead and link it down in the description so that you can go check it out if you are interested in one or the other. Some apps or like software that I suggest, I mean, QuickBooks or something like that would be probably really helpful. Excel could be a really good resource as far as like creating it. They already have templates in there. You just have to add in your own numbers, or Every Dollar as far as like apps are concerned. That's another really good one. I prefer just a pen and paper. I feel like I learn more and I like keep things in my brain more when I am like seeing them and writing it and all of those things. So okay, and then number 9 is be prepared. And I don't mean in like an ultimate sense of be prepared, but you never know what's going to happen. And so having things like in bulk, like your pantry staples in bulk, is really nice to have. I also make sure that I have Band-Aids and medicine and sunburn ointment and these sort of things on hand so that if something happens, I have what I need. Or, you know, as we all learned during 2020, where there was a shortage on toilet paper, paper towels, diapers, formula, flour, yeast, like all of those kind of things that are necessary everyday things were gone. Like the staples of life were just like in a shortage or just non-existent. And so I like to make sure that I just have things on hand that are necessary. And I'm creating like a pantry stock and things like that, just so that I am prepared for whatever may come our way in a very basic sense. And I have it to where I am using it as we go. Like I don't have it just like put away where just in case I have it. And then for the 10th tip, it's get organized. Now, I have done a ton of videos as far as how to get organized in your time, how to be productive, and in your home. So go ahead and watch this video or this playlist, and I will see you guys in the next one. I appreciate you watching, and remember, I am praying for you in your journey of homemaking, and I can't wait to see you in the next one. Bye!